When Carly Richards was accepted to the program, she had a keen interest in looking at crime rates across neighborhoods. She had previously studied the impact of neighborhood context, but again from that disadvantaged lens. And so we started talking about her bringing in another layer of data into the community data set that would include crime rates, and thinking about then how the resources that exist in the context of residents can impact crime rates. And so thinking about that as almost like a social infrastructure that helps to disseminate levels of collective efficacy amongst neighbors that might in turn reduce crime.
So I feel like my journey in Data Champions is going to be, I went to the meetings, I wrote a comp, and then here it's going to be me for the next 2 months or something, like data cleaning, code books, and then writing whatever they need for on this paper. It's on mental health variables, and I'm assuming it's family-friendly community resources, but some of the stuff they've already cleaned from previous papers. And she was like, yeah, if you want to ever suggest a topic once you look at the data and you want to write a paper, go for it. If you want to do this, you go for it. I think they're kind of giving me like easier tasks to get me acclimatized, and because I'm the newest, and then it also works because I'm bringing in my own data that I'm interested in. And then eventually I'll work on a dissertation. So in that meeting, Marissa was like, yeah, the stuff that Ruth is doing, we're hoping to submit to the ASA deadline, which I think is February 26th. Oh, and you can be on that. Do you want to help with some of the write-up and stuff? Because all of the coding and like the data cleaning and the code books will still be relevant to the larger project, just not that specific offshoot of it. So I'm hoping that can kind of be like, the finale. But really the finale is I get the data to write my dissertation. And you won't be here for that, so. I feel like I didn't realize, I kind of thought, okay, I'll just be like a lowly RA. That's kind of what I thought. Like, I've done that before. I've done data cleaning before, but it seems more so, and this is what I clarified in one of the recordings, I think in December, right before the break. I kind of was like, okay, wait, what's my role here? Because Ruth is clearly doing analyses on something, I didn't know what. Marissa, you're like trying to offload as much as you can right now, and I've been tasked with data cleaning and or code books. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, my role's not very big. Like, I'm just the person you hire, you give a 40-hour thing to, they clean your data, they make your code books, and you're done. And Marissa was like, oh, actually, you're actually gonna be a part of this. We're gonna form a little team right here. Ruth is working on analyses that we're gonna bring you in on if you wanna write some of the paper and the findings on. So I'm still working through some of the coding, but that's taken more of a backseat to trying to make a finalized, I keep calling it the master document. It's called literally master doc on my laptop. And that's just the organizing and making sure you know where everything is. So when I was talking about having all the team members listed, what are their various roles? What are all of the data sets that we're going to be using in this? And another one, the new data just got added, making sure that there's the metadata, the background. I have a section that what's the purpose of this document? And I have for guiding new team members, other people can look back. It has our file naming structures, and I haven't put this in yet, but hopefully the locations of where all of the files will be for easy access.
And I mean, I have to say though, when Carly brought me the material she had compiled, it was great to see all the efforts that had been put in.
The last meeting, I had somewhat of a draft put together, and just okay, eventually I'll need, Marcel, need a bio from you, Ruth, same thing, with some, at least my main headings and some of the information starting to fill out. And then they gave me some pointers, okay, yeah, this person's no longer involved, we don't necessarily need to include them. Let's make a parameter that we're gonna follow up with this document. I said at the end of every year, or when an RA contract is finishing, what have they done, and just add that to the doc, just so we have a running tally. And then Marissa or Ruth, I don't remember which one, suggested having like the publications that have come from the FFCR. So if anyone ever needs to look back or wants to see, oh, what else has been done? What can I use from that? I don't know if there will be links there, but it'll at least have the titles and names and like the authors of who worked on it so that you could then like try and find it.
There's always a balance as a supervisor, right? That you want to be able to provide them with the independence. You're also working on a number of projects. And I think in this case, there maybe needed to be a bit more, I think, initiation on my part in order to allow Carly to feel comfortable in communicating those practices, or feeling comfortable about organizing meetings that maybe weren't already on the calendar. And I think that that can happen when you're new to the PhD program and you don't want to overstep the your supervisor. I'm also the graduate chair, and so there are a lot of different roles that sometimes come up that I need to attend to, and meetings can sometimes get canceled. So
I have to take their feedback and then come up with more of a polished, hopefully maybe not finalized draft, but at least like a full, like, this is it. So hopefully that'll be at the next meeting. I'm not sure when that one's gonna be, probably a couple weeks, but yeah, hopefully finalizing that, and then I'll still be coding through the summer because there's just data.
I think I can understand it being a challenge for Carly through this process. However, I think, were this to happen again, with Carly learning what she did, that it would be very successful. I think it was kind of having to go through that process to recognize how much latitude do you have, how much independence do you have to take to initiate those meetings. So while over the past year, maybe there wasn't as much initiation on Carly's part as we needed as for the research project and team, I can see that being very successful moving forward, because now we've learned the lessons.
I don't think it will ever be finished. Like the goal of the document is to have it be a living document and never fully be finished. So when another data set that looks interesting gets added, or a new team member, or I don't know, like a new research paper gets published, it will always be updating, or something gets moved, that location will move. So I feel like that document will only ever be at like 90% finished.
I've been really considering instituting this and these lessons into classes, right? Where it can't simply be placed on Spark, for example, to do this training campus-wide, but also thinking about the next generation. How are they gonna pick up some of these skills? Two, I think that, some of us as faculty and researchers, we need to learn these skills too. And so to offer the opportunity to put it in as a more required, I think, component of lessons, but also faculty training, that would be a key takeaway for me.
This series is brought to you by Spark, a Center for Social Research Innovation.